June 19th, 2019. June 19th, 2019. I visited Solomon's castle today. I've heard about some metal castle in the middle of nowhere for most of my life, but after Mom mentioned it being on her short list of things to see, I decided to make it my getaway trip today. I only had half a day, and it's only a couple of hours from here to 4533 Solomon Road in Ona, Florida, 32865, solomoncastle.com. It's a 12,000 square foot castle made of discarded aluminum printing plates from the Wachula newspaper company. It's a living legacy to the prolific sculptor, painter, author, and self-proclaimed builder of dreams, Howard Sanford Solomon. Even though I got there just an hour and a half before closing time, they sold me tickets to the full package at $22, where I got a guided tour of both the castle and the automotive museum. I was the only person on both tours, but the guides, Cindy and Uncle Jimmy, gave their best performances and said several times that they were reciting verbatim from the scripts that Solomon had left to them before his death in 2016. The corny jokes, told at every single artifact along the way, and the bizarre sculptures and paintings, and even the double entendre naming of each item, gave me a glimpse into the mind of this most peculiar person. He clearly saw humor and art in every piece of junk he had collected for the purpose of his craft. His skills were so diverse that you would think there was no way it could be true that the magnificent stained glass windows, 80 plus of them, could have been created by the same man who torched 1-inch thick steel rebar and crankshafts into fanciful creatures. If not for the fact that the same rebar was worked into some of the stained glass windows. Who does that? What's more, who could see those divergent worlds colliding into such intriguing works of art? More than art. It's like he was secretly laughing to himself at how he would mystify people for generations to come. On the long drive home, I chose back roads to see how the landscape had changed since I was last in the area. I thought about what it must have driven this person to build a castle, a pirate ship restaurant, a lighthouse, gardens, and a museum dedicated to cars built before 1935 in a part of Florida prone to flooding and surrounded by hundreds of acres of cattle ranches and phosphate mines. Hurricane Irma had flooded 31 inches deep inside the castle and threatened to break the 1/3 scale replica of the Santa Maria from her 100-plus pilings. Solomon's family persevered, and the damage that must have been done is no longer visible. I wondered how he made a living. The guide said he owned a sandblasting business and mentioned some other businesses, but you'd have to wonder how he tended to them while he was spending so many hours dreaming up his ideas and birthing them into reality. I wonder how they kept the restaurant afloat. Sorry, but after so many puns, I just couldn't help myself. They had room to feed probably 100 people. I saw 8. Their website looks like it hasn't been touched since the 90s. And it could be the case since it doesn't mention that the founder has been dead for 3 years. It still speaks about him as if he were alive. Perhaps he is, in all of the works his hands left behind. If you're enjoying my diary, please like, share, and subscribe. You can find other ways to connect to me over at bigcatrescue.org/Carole.Baskin.